Hello there. I hope you like this story. It's actual, totally true story. It's really well documented. It was been in several newspapers, and the newspapers interviewed the people involved straight away within hours. So it was all quite freshly documented, and it wasn't just one or two people going shopping and they thought they may have seen something. It was spotted by hundreds of people and reported, and a lot of people phoned police, and police documented it. So yeah, it was really a lot going for it. This one, I think, um, it's one of them. If you never see any more UFO sightings, which have been thousands and thousands, as we all know, this one on its own would be enough. Yeah, it's enough to say, yeah, there's something there. It's not ours, So who is it? Who made the blinking thing? But I'll even though there were a lot of sightings on it, I'll just concentrate on the two sightings. I mean, there's that many people reported it. I can't go with all day at it. That's what I like about it. It's just loads. It's happened in 2008, around beginning January to the middle of January. But this one was reported on the 8th of January, I think it was. It was father and son, and they were walking home. And it didn't just go a few seconds by them. There was actual. It was slowly. They had quite a few minutes to look at it, and the bright lights. What they saw, there was five of them, and these lights didn't just fly by. There's different explanations, and what they saw is different. But when you look at the wording, what these two chaps say, no, it didn't just fly over them. It hovered over them really slowly, so they had a really good look, as if these five lights was eyeing them up, and there was nobody about at the time. There was a quiet area. So, but yeah, it's if these five were looking at them as much as they were looking at the lights, and they described it. They were so bright they couldn't really see them, and they wasn't big. There was described they seemed to be pulsating and changing the shape, the size. And so, because they were so bright, they couldn't really stare at them and gather an honest size of them, and because they were pulsating as well. But it says they're so bright. Anyway, they continued to go home, and then they told their families. The families obviously gave them a funny look, which you can understand that. But eventually, yeah. But when other people reported it and got around the town, and thought, oh, blimey, this is, they actually did see something. It wasn't just stars in the sky. There was something there. We got reported in Houston. I think there was 10 bright lights, exactly the same description, pulsating, and people couldn't understand the size of them because they were so bright, and they were flying low. But in that area there were 10, and hundreds of people saw them and got reported. I'm not sure if there's any photos of them. I don't know. But then again, even if it's so bright, it probably wastes time taking a photo anyway. And sometimes if you've got a bright light on your face, it disorientates you. You're thinking, doesn't it? So I can understand why they didn't get a camera out. But 2008, I think mostly all phones had cameras on. And that's what bothers me for this. So how come they didn't whip out the phone and grab a picture? There's some reason. I believe the story. I just think there's some reason why they didn't do that. Was they manipulated not to do it? I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing into it too much. But I've not seen any photos. I wish I had. I'd explain there were some, but I've not seen them. But anyway, the father and son clearly saw five. Hundreds of people saw 10 in Houston and around the same area. It went on for a number of weeks, this, and it accumulated in about 2000. It was 2008, the same year, about 2 weeks later, on the 16th of January. This is brilliant, this bit. And a lot, again, this craft, what these guys reported, the Air Force guys in America, there was in fighter planes, and they got told to go and check this thing out. It came up on the radar, and it was a mile long and half a mile wide. So you can see, imagine it's flying so low, and the amount of people saw this in a clear sky was astronomical. It was a lot. Houston, it got reported there was lots of blips on the radar, loads of blips, all through January, and then it accumulated in this great big thing coming. Move on, guys. I think that's how you say it. The UFO specialists, they go and interview people and check things out. They went down. I think sent several people down to interview people. Newspapers went down. Air Force people went down. There were a lot of interviewing going on and a lot of description. So, and it was all fresh because the moment this happened, practically the media went straight down. They were instantly. The two Air Force guys, even they stuck to the story, which is unusual. Normally they have to corroborate whatever the bosses say, but no, they stuck to the guns and said yes, this thing what they chased was a mile long and half a mile wide. The MUFON specialist said it can only be a mothership for the smaller lights what were flying around and the little dishes and what have you. But photo wise, I've not seen any. I'm sure there must be some somewhere. You can't go over that many people, especially 2008. Everybody's got the camera on the phone, haven't we? Even if it's a bad picture, there must be something somewhere. I'm surprised the two fighter planes haven't got cameras on or recorded something. Maybe they have. Be good if they had, wouldn't it? A mile long, I'd love to see that. But it might be something at Independence Day. But it's not unusual to hear one what's a mile long. But so low it is. I've heard stories when they obviously in the sky, quite a mile long, mile and a half. I've heard some even bigger, if I'm honest. But so it's not totally unusual. But it's why was it flying so low? I mean, it wanted to be seen, didn't it? Obviously. But I mean, there was a guy, another little bit at a pilot in Guernsey. He had flying a propeller plane, maybe 20 years ago. I think it may have been, with quite a few passengers on, multiple passengers, clear sky, and he clearly saw a UFO. Describe it about a mile plus long, a dish shape, and obviously got mocked and ridiculed and said, "No, you didn't see that. It was the sun on your windows." But I mean, these are trained pilots. I mean, this pilot again in Guernsey, new area, flew there every day, so he didn't make a mistake. I mean, the Air Force pilots. Is any better pilot than an Air Force pilot? No, I don't think there is. American pilots are some of the best in the world, and if they say they've seen something a mile long and half mile wide, they've seen it, and they've stuck to the guns, and even though they're ridiculed, so that tells you everything you want to know. But where did they come from? It's we know them. Are they just coming over and just say, just to remind you, we're here. The thing what's interesting about where it was, it was not this not far from Roswell incident, and the famous 1940 thing. As far as I know, it's mini Roswell. I don't know. As far as I understand, this incident is so close to that incident. Now, is this something around that area? I mean, we presume Roswell was just a one-off, and it went because they accumulated and crashed because they put new radars just came out, and sorry, I work in a dusty environment, makes me cough up one of these days. But anyway, they always presume the radar brought the UFO craft down in 1940s, but maybe there's not. Maybe it was something else around there also. What's attracting them? Because they're still there. I mean, this is the same area. Peculiar, isn't it? And a mile long. It wasn't there just to take photos and beam cattle up, was it? What on earth would? It's more like saying if you've got like a big army, into it, say, look, I'm just letting you know we're here and this is what we've got. Behave, sort of thing. In which case, it's intimidation, isn't it? It's not It's not a friendly thing to do. So it should set alarm bells off. I would have thought, just to me anyway. Unless they are communicating with somewhere on Earth, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, you can do this and that, and you come and land down here, and we'll, put 5-star petrol in it, or whatever it is." It doesn't seem right to me. It seems like intimidation to me, which doesn't seem quite good, does it? But it happened perfectly true, well documented, and the two pilots trained pilots, two fighter jets. So it's got everything you want, really, in a UFO. Have a look at it. It's called Stephenvile sighting. I think it may come under Exeter incident in USA. But it's all around that area, that what mini Roswell, Houston. It happened. It's around that area. I'm not quite sure how big this area is because I've never been to America. America's such a, I'm saying small area because I live in England. It's probably a few miles, but over there it could be 100 miles. I'm not quite sure. But to them, it's probably a small area, But worth having a look. Stephenville UFO. Loads about it, honestly. It's one of those, if you don't even interest in UFOs and you've never don't believe in it at all, this is the one of them what say, oh yeah, there's something there. I love it. Just can't get my head around why it was flying so low. I mean, if it was the larger craft to pick up the smaller craft, mother craft, why did it have to fly so low? If anybody has any ideas of that, that'd be great to know, because I certainly haven't. It certainly doesn't make sense, unless it was coming down. It was landing. I'm a big area, isn't it? It may have done. I wouldn't know. Probably people around there wouldn't know. It's such a large place, isn't it? A mile craft could come down and take off. I mean, you couldn't do that in England, obviously. A million people see it. But in America's a different place, Odd. Lots of things going on without not telling us. But anyway, I hope you like it. It's totally true. Happened in 2008, middle of January to about the 16th of January. Lots of sightings. I say, even radars and everybody picked it up. Police documented, media documented it, Air Force documented it. It was a good one. Anyway, God bless. If you get a chance to subscribe, that'd be great. That'd be brilliant. Anyway, God bless. Thank you.